The road beyond the kingdom walls was quiet, blanketed with fresh snow that softened every sound. Brunhilda guided her horse slowly, listening to the steady rhythm of hooves and the gentle wind brushing past her cloak. The farther she traveled, the more she felt the weight of her choice, yet her heart remained steady. She remembered the smiles of the children waving goodbye, the firm grip of the guard salute, and the warmth of her father's proud embrace. Those memories became her strength. As the night deepened, Brunhilda made camp beside a frozen stream. She lit a small fire and warmed her hands, watching sparks drift upward like tiny stars. The world felt vast and silent, but not empty. Somewhere beyond the hills, danger waited. Yet Brunhilda reminded herself that fear did not mean failure. Fear simply meant something mattered enough to protect. The next morning, dawn arrived pale and quiet. Frost clung to tree branches, and the air glittered as sunlight touched the snow. Brunhilda continued onward, passing through villages that had already felt the warlord's shadow. Doors were closed, windows dark, and streets empty. When people finally emerged and saw her shield shining, hope flickered in their eyes like a candle relit after a storm. She spoke gently to them, offering reassurance instead of promises she could not keep. She listened to their worries, their stories, and their longing for peace. Each village reminded her why she rode forward instead of turning back. Her shield glowed faintly, as if responding to her purpose. By the third day, the land grew harsher. The wind howled louder, and clouds gathered thick and gray. Brunhilda felt the presence of the warlord before she saw him. The air itself seemed heavier, pressed down by fear and anger. Broken banners lay scattered across the ground, and the remains of abandoned camps marked his path. At the edge of a wide frozen plain, Brunhilda finally saw him. The warlord stood tall and imposing, clad in dark armor etched with symbols of conquest. His eyes were sharp and cold, scanning the land as if it already belonged to him. Around him stood soldiers, silent and watchful. When he noticed Brunhilda approaching alone, a cruel smile crossed his face. Yet Brunhilda did not stop. She rode forward until she stood before him, her horse steady beneath her. She lifted her shield, not in threat, but in readiness. The warlord laughed, his voice echoing across the plain, mocking the idea that a single princess could challenge his power. Brunhilda spoke calmly. She spoke of homes destroyed, of children who could no longer sleep without fear, of lands that deserved peace instead of endless struggle. She told him that strength built on fear would always crumble, and that true power came from protecting life, not taking it. For a moment, the warlord hesitated. Then anger flared, and he drew his weapon. The battle began not with rage, but with resolve. Steel clashed, sparks flew, and magic shimmered as Brunhilda's shield absorbed blow after blow. Each strike she blocked echoed with the courage of her people. Though the warlord was strong, Brunhilda fought with purpose. She moved carefully, defending herself while seeking an end that did not demand destruction. When the warlord finally stumbled, exhausted and shaken, Brunhilda stood before him, her shield glowing brighter than ever. Instead of delivering a final strike, she lowered her weapon. She offered mercy. The warlord, stunned by her choice, felt something he had long forgotten, shame. In that moment, his grip on fear loosened. His soldiers lowered their weapons, uncertain, watching as the darkness that had surrounded him seemed to fade. The battle ended not with roar, but with silence. As the clouds parted and sunlight spilled across the frozen plain, Brunhilda turned back toward her kingdom. Word of her courage traveled faster than the wind. Villages reopened their doors. Children laughed again. Songs slowly returned. When Brunhilda finally rode to the golden gates, bells rang not in warning, but in celebration. The people welcomed her not as a conqueror, but as a guardian who chose courage over cruelty. From that day forward, Princess Brunhilda was remembered not only for facing darkness, but for proving that bravery, kindness, and hope could change the course of the world. And that was only the beginning of her legend.